Hello and a warm welcome to the News on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Obiageli Ugwoke. And now we begin with the headlines. Federal government affirms that there was no pressure that compelled the release of Sambo Dasuki and Omoyele Sowore. Correspondent of Special Assignment takes a look at the agricultural sector in Nigeria 2019. Plus, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development pays backlog of allowances of beneficiaries of NPAR program. Many thanks for joining us. And now the details. The federal government has reaffirmed that there was no pressure mounted on it at home or abroad that compelled the release of the convener of Revolution Now, Omoyele Sowore, and the former National Security Advisor, Sambo Dasuki. The reports.
The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, made the clarification in Abuja. Malami affirmed that the federal government released the two on compassionate grounds. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice maintained that the only reason for the release of Omoyele Sowore and Sambo Dasuki revolved around the government's commitment to the rule of law, obedience to court orders, and compassionate grounds. Malami SAN pointed out that as far as the law is concerned, in relation to the Nigerian justice system, one has multiple options after a court has ruled on a matter. These options, according to the minister, include the right to appeal the said ruling, the right to ask the same court that issued an order to vary or review the terms of the order, as well as the right to request for stay of execution of the order pending the hearing and determination of an appeal in that matter. Malami denied the claim that his office has received any formal communication from any American senator on the matter, and that the discussion during the visit of the American ambassador to Nigeria at the event of the submission of letter of credence were not in any way connected to the accused persons. On Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zazaki, the minister said the federal government does not interfere with the cases that are being prosecuted by state governments.
Still from the judiciary, the Code of Conduct Tribunal has ordered Azuka Obiageli Azinge to step aside as the acting Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission over allegation of contravening the provisions of the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act. The acting chairman of the tribunal, Danladi Umar, gave the order after the arraignment of the defendants. The tribunal also ordered the Minister of Trade and Industry, the chairman of the board of CAC, to appoint the next most senior director to take over the position in acting capacity. The matter has been adjourned to January 6, 2020. And let's talk agriculture now. Agricultural activity is seasonal and it's usually based on a 12-month calendar period from January to December. However, agricultural economists are of the views that government policies and programs on food production and supply can impact positively or negatively on the benefits derivable from the sector. Musa Babaliu takes a look at how the agricultural sector fared in 2019.
A typical farmer recognizes what he described as three most important periods in a year cycle, which are rainy season, harvest belt, and the dry season. Sani Musa, farmer in Abuja, says the seasons usually determine if a year is good or otherwise. Going by this, 2019 can be described as a good year for farmers, considering the report of the Agricultural Research Institute, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, on this year's crop season. The report indicated that food production increased by more than 80%.
Almost all the states, 36 plus FCT, increased their production in terms of areas, in terms of, covering more areas compared to last year.
Rice, millet, maize, sorghum, cassava, cowpea, and soybeans were the crops that experienced increase.
This presidential initiative brings fertilizer to the farmers at 5,000 and 5,500 sustainably, and that is very, very good. So this government has done something. The agriculture promotion policy is working.
research have also shown that we have enough food. The planet Earth is producing enough food for the world population.
And GDP from agriculture increased to 540 billion naira against the 380 billion naira in 2018, as contained in the report of National Bureau of Statistics. The agricultural sector received investment above $200 billion during the period under review. The investments are mostly in the production of rice, sugar, and beverages.
We're harvesting for this year 17,000 tons, and we will be next year around 30,000 tons. And we have 3,000 hectares under cultivation and developing at a very rapid pace.
We want to see the success, we want to see the growth, we want to see the agriculture field here that big part of the population in Nigeria is depending on rising to what it can and should be.
Farmers, including Sani Musa, hopes that the year 2020 will be better and promising in terms of high yields and food security. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
In another development, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has paid October and November 2019 backlog allowances of beneficiaries of the NPower program before December 20, 2019, as promised by the Minister, Sadiya Umar Farouk. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the Minister on Media, Halima Oyalade, states that the NPower programs has 500,000 volunteers who are engaged as teachers, health workers and agricultural extension officers, among other fields. Each participant is paid a stipend of 30,000 naira monthly. The minister assured that the kind of promptness demonstrated in the payment of the backlog as promised will be sustained so that the programs will continue to achieve their goals of improving the well-being of Nigerians. And from Lagos comes a report that a young man of 25 years old has been apprehended by aviation security personnel manning the Charlie 1 link area of the Murtala Muhammad Airport for attempting to obstruct an Air Peace aircraft numbered APK 7252 and registration number CSTQU. In a statement by FAN General Manager Corporate Affairs, Henrietta Yakubu, the young man was moving towards a taxiing aircraft while efforts to stop him failed until security personnel on duty called for reinforcement delayed takeoff to allow for a successful apprehension. The statement further states that the aircraft was advised to return to base for necessary safety checks in line with standard procedures before departing Lagos at 16 minutes past 10 in the morning with 171 passengers and 6 crew members on board. Moving on, motorists accessing Nasarawa State to crisscross parts of Nigeria no longer experience hardship from the lack of fuel or wait endlessly on queue as government put measures in place to ensure availability of the commodity. Isa Muhammad reports.
With the experiences of the past, it is heartwarming for motorists and passengers getting the commodity with ease as guarantee for their trips ahead. The queues are practically missing in all stations except for a little wait to be served. Motorists commend the federal government for achieving the initiative of uninterrupted fuel supply, saying it shows good governance of the sector, and hope that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation will sustain it. Of Petroleum Resources says it's monitoring sales at government-approved price as other regulations continue to apply to make the system working.
Apologies for the loss of audio in some parts of the report. Moving on, every Yuletide witnesses an exodus of youth from the cities to their homes. A lot of socializing is carried out in their various communities as these youth meet, interact and make new friends. While belonging, many are introduced to unpalatable habits without knowing the consequent dangers. One of such habits is drugs abuse. In this report, Basi Taiwan takes a look at the dangers of drug use and the need for youth to fight the temptation of trying new lifestyle and rejecting being lured into drug use.
Festive periods are usually characterized by many activities that bring youth together to interact, and in the process, new habits are either formed, copied, or transferred in the course of hanging out. One of such habits that is very common among the youth population is drug abuse.
Youths, adults take drugs anyhow, they abuse it. They don't take advice from anybody because once they are into that drugs, they feel they are on top of the world.
Periods such as this, observers say, requires close parental watch on children in order to checkmate circumstances or any possibility that could lead them to destructive path of drug use and abuse.
Because when we allow things to go out, to go wrong, it will still come back to affect us.
Start from the home to tell your child that, look, drug is dangerous. Give the child proper education on drug addiction and how it could ruin his or her life. I think no child wants to be ruined.
Dr. Hope, who was introduced to drug at the age of 12 and took the special intervention of his parents to get him out, says prevention is the way to go, as the cost of rehabilitation is huge.
The message is one, and that is families must assume their role in the campaign against drug abuse, especially children.
And as the youth backs in the euphoria of Yuletide, the message here is caution.
It is bad. It is dangerous. It will ruin your future if you get involved in drug abuse. If you want a better future for yourself, stay out of drugs.
So, which would you rather go for? Pursue your dreams for a successful future with a sound mind, or indulge in such habits that could cut short your dreams? Basi Taipan, NTA News.
From drug abuse at Yuletide, we turn to the fight against smuggling. Local rice production in Nigeria has hit a record level, meeting domestic demand, notwithstanding desperate efforts by smugglers to frustrate government initiative in curtailing importation. Muhammad Umar reports that the Nigerian Customs Service says the battle against importation of the commodity must be sustained and won.
Establishing the fact that local rice is available in Nigerian market is not far-fetched. Take a look at this. They are all made in Nigeria rice.
This puts smile on the faces of businessmen such as Aliyu Ibrahim. He says he has sold more than 2,000 bags of locally produced rice during this festive season.
From this Christmas, I sold more than 1,000 or 2,000 bags. So I can say alhamdulillah, from the beginning of this December to this 26th, I say mashallah.
Protecting Aliyu's business, the interests of other Nigerians and the economy by promoting local production through value chain addition to rice is what the Nigerian Customs Service seeks to achieve with the ban on importation of the commodity.
We have so far seized about 5,143 bags of 50 kg foreign parboiled rice from September to date. We have collected customs duty of about 1,123,438,664 naira so far.
While reiterating the commitment of the Nigerian Customs to fighting any act capable of jeopardizing the growth of the nation's economy, the controller called for understanding of the public to enable them win the war against smuggling. In Kaduna, Muhammad Umarajingi, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International. We'll take a break now and the news continues shortly. Stay with us.
That channel where you watch just now don't waka, no panic.
Can you no panic?
You go do it by yourself like ABC. Oh yeah, press the menu button on top your remote. Scroll up and down till you see Information Central. Then press OK.
Press OK.
Check the signal strength and quality. If the signal strength and quality pass 70, make you press the exit button go back. Go advanced options, then choose installation, then go to reset and press OK.
Press OK.
Wow, now you sef fit catch all those channels wey be one miss road by yourself. Yes, make your groove for no loss. You see as I do am, abi? And I see as I do am?
Go TV. Live it. Love it.
And I see as we do am?
Many thanks for staying with us. President Muhammad Buhari salute Comrade Amitolu Shitu, who turns 55 on December 28, for his sense of commitment to a better society, which he resolutely advocates without playing to the gallery or with any self-promotion and personal aggrandizement. In a statement signed by Special Advisor to President, Media and Publicity Femi Adesina, the President recalls his long and close relationship with human rights lawyer Chief Gani Fayomi, rising to become Deputy National Chairman of National Conscience Party, NCP. President Buhari wished the irrepressible social activist Amitolu greater years of service to his fatherland, noting that activism is not the same thing as anarchy or fomenting insurrection. Meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari this Friday in Kano urged young couples to seek advice from balanced and exemplary persons while congratulating Senate President Ahmad Lawan on his son's marriage. A message signed by Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, President Buhari advised the newly wedded couple to emulate the life of Senate President, whom he described as balanced. The President's message was delivered by a delegation comprising Ministers of FCT, Mohammed Musa Bello, Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi, retired, Agriculture, Sabo Nanuno, and Aviation, Hadi Sirika, among others. Ibrahim, son of the Senate President, got married to Amani in Kano. And for developments from the financial sector, Line Kojo is standing by.
In a bid to resolve the issue of unclaimed dividends in the capital market, the Securities and Exchange Commission has outlined a number of initiatives. Acting Director General of SEC, Mary Udok, disclosed that the Commission in the new year will employ various strategies to address unclaimed dividends. She noted that the major problem is how to deal with identity management, adding that the capital market and other stakeholders are working to resolve it. The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board says at least 1,000 Nigerians have now taken over jobs previously executed by expatriates in the oil and gas industry. Executive Secretary of the board, Simbi Waboti, said the move has assisted in reducing the huge payments to foreigners and employed highly skilled Nigerians in the sector. Mr. Wabote also dismissed insinuations that the board is out to nationalize businesses owned by foreigners. Gold prices edged lower on Friday on rising risk appetite. Olainka Ojo for Business News.
For highlights of stories that made headlines across the globe, Adebola Brookslyn Sunday is our guide.
A YouTube subscriber who criticized the Moroccan king has been sentenced to prison, while a journalist activist, Omar Radi, who defended anti-government protesters in a tweet, has been detained. Reports say the royal family is widely revered in Morocco, and criticizing the king is a criminal offense. Radi's arrest was prompted by a tweet 6 months ago that criticized a Moroccan court's decision to to hand maximum prison sentences to leaders of mass demonstrations in the poverty-stricken Northern Reef region. And a passenger plane has crashed in Kazakhstan, killing at least 15 people. The aircraft went down and crashed into a building shortly after takeoff from Almaty Airport early Friday morning. At least 60 injured people, including children, were taken to hospitals. The Fokker 100 aircraft was en route from Almaty, Kazakhstan's largest city, to the capital, Nur-Sultan. In another development, the number of people killed in a typhoon that battered the Philippines over the Christmas period has risen to 28. Typhoon Phamphone, which made landfall on Tuesday, caused severe floods and destroyed homes in several provinces. Officials said some of the dead were hit by trees, while others were electrocuted or drowned. Adepola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
And on sports, we continue with our review of Nigerian sports in 2019 as Kenema Bodike brings part 2 on sports updates.
Nigeria's football in 2019 was a mixed grill, with the Super Eagles ending the year